war in Iraq all over again with Doom, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that makes him an interesting villain. But with Superman, I guess, at least to me, I think people really fail to realize, you know, Superman has all this power. He could do whatever he wants, but he chooses not to. And some people, I guess, don't see it that way. And in certain instances, he is pretty humble about it. But also, I also tell people it also depends what you read and what you watch.
Alright, so what Superman are you saying isn't that way?
That's not humble?
Well, no, that's basically not the way I described him.
I would say more so the books, some of the animated stuff. I think it all varies because, mind you, this character's been around since what, 1940? What?
I think it's what Leroy said.
1939. Huh?
I think it's what Leroy said. His like the way he.
I think his views are dated, but I think the character can still be interesting.
So, what do you think they can do to make people like me and Mark more interested in the characters?
I don't think making them kill is the answer. I don't think that's the answer. I think humanizing the character and someone making him relatable is the answer. I don't think making him kill, because if you make him kill, he's no better off than anybody else was out there.
Right.
And the same thing with Batman. I got to a big debate with a friend of mine who said, "Man, Batman dumb. You should kill Joker, man, and blah blah blah. And, you know, his morals are dumb, and letting Joker live." It's like, no, dog. Yeah, you don't understand.
He explained that perfectly in
Batman under Red Hood. It's like he wants to, but he can't. You know, if he does, he's gonna go over the edge, and there's no turning back.
Yeah.
Superman is the other side of that. Like Batman and Superman are the same, but they're different. And Superman is the other side of the coin of Batman. And I mean, I have no problem if you don't like Superman because of, I guess, cultural reasons. That's fine. But like, I'm like, give the character some credit. He's not just some dude that's out there. I'm like, he's a pretty decent hero. But I will agree with Leroy. Yeah, his views are dated, but the writers have tried to make him more relevant. And even still, like I said, even you ask fans, even in the comic book circle. I went to a panel a few years ago at a comic book convention at Wizard World. And one writer jumped on. He's a kind of controversial writer because he did stuff from Marvel that kind of sucked. But I like the Superman. And there's a certain set of fans that want Superman a certain way. His Superman was pretty entertaining. He was kind of cocky and talked a little shit. Now the action was kind of entertaining. And some fans hated that. There's one set of fans that kind of like that cocky Superman. There's another set of fans that want Superman to be humble and chill out and do whatever. Yeah. There's another set who thinks he's boring, needs to kill or be an asshole. Like I said, you ask 10 different people, you may get 10 different. You may get literally 10 different answers.
I think if you had Superman more cocky, he would probably be more accepted in the general public.
It depends.
They
did, but it doesn't always work. Because like,
I'm talking about as far as film though.
Oh.
That's
it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work because if Superman became too cocky, no one could relate to him.
That's true.
No, he could. No, he would be too cocky. No one would relate to him at all. And even Spider-Man was like that at one point. Even then, Spider-Man, that's also been who's writing too. But there was a disparity in just those fans alone. And like that time, Superman had like what in the '90s? What 7 different books then?
Just about.
Well, they had 7 different titles, and for the most part, when big companies like that have a major character that has multiple titles, for the most part, multiple titles represents that character in a certain way. I don't know about now, but I know for a while there was a Superman title that pretty much focused on him being Clark Kent and having Battles Won being Clark Kent, not as Superman. And that's another thing too. And as far as him being put on a pedestal, that's debatable too, because he's the quintessential hero. He's pretty much the
Golden Boy.
Not even Golden Boy. He's the what am I looking for?
Similar to it, yeah.
It's like the archetype, you know what I mean?
The archetype, right? Yeah. The archetype. That's what a lot of people aspire. A lot of other heroes look up to and aspire to be.
Right.
That was the first superhero created in 1938. So
right.
It's like standard.
I mean, if you and like I said, if you watch different stuff, like even as early as the Max Fleischer cartoon from the 1940s, which to me the animation is amazing to this day. That incarnation is going to be different what you read in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even now.
The thing that makes a lot of those Max Fleischer cartoons so interesting is that the things that he's facing really do make Superman look really insignificant. Like that huge ray is just pounding on him, like as he's trying to save the city, and he just seem powerless, and everything is just so grand and huge, and Superman's just this tiny little guy, you know. I mean, that's what we can relate to. This tiny guy just against everything else in the world, just trying to do the best he can. And, you know, that's part of why I think the Max Fleischer cartoons work so well. And of course, that grand soundtrack is, of course, a huge help. Yeah.
And people also realize this was me and Leroy. I think we know him probably Chauncey too. Superman does the impossible.
Yeah.
That's what Superman shines at. He does the impossible. So people crack me up. Superman Returns, man, Superman can't do College Kryptonite. That's dumb. That's stupid. He should have died. I'm like, no. Superman can do that. He does the impossible. In the film, he's supposed to do the impossible. He took the Earth, ran around the Earth backwards, spin it back in time to save Lois. He's supposed to do the impossible. Right. That's what he does. And he's supposed to win in impossible odds. And that's where he shines at.
Even though Marlon Brando told him not to screw around with Earth, and he went and did that.
He went and did it anyway, but hey, it worked out in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, I think back to that 1970s movie. That had a grounded story to it, you know? I mean, Clark Kent's slowly becoming Superman. He's got to fight Lex Luthor, you know? Honestly, I just think it needs a nice, grounded story that a lot of casual people and you know, both sides can really relate to maybe kind of give them a reboot, because they're part of the problem is that they're trying to tie too much into the 1970s movie.
That's the problem with Returns.
Yeah,
that's the problem with Returns. If you weren't a fan of the original Superman movies from the 1970s, you cannot.
You gotta remember, some people didn't even see
it. Like, he probably never saw it.
Yeah,
he's probably like, what is this? Like, it was like, huh?
Jackass. I didn't see him.
I'm saying whether it did see him. I'm saying. Well, you probably didn't grow up with it.
Nah.
You probably saw it once, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even though when Superman Returns, they took a left turn with it, and you know, they basically just totally just screwed Lex Luthor over. Just made him just nuts.
And they didn't give him any screen time either, which I think is also sad too. I mean, Kevin Spacey is a pretty good actor. He was I think a damn good Lex Luthor.
Wrong.
I mean, I think he would, if he had more screen time, it would have made it a better film. So more interaction with Superman. So, with that said, I kind of think the character has redeeming factors, and people I think give him a chance. But like I said, it's so many different incarnations of him. You can't make this one general assumption. But I mean, he's not Wolverine. He's not Batman. He's not Deadpool, but I think there's some redeeming qualities. But I think it also depends what type of fan you are too.
I will give Superman Returns one redeeming quality, is the fact that Richard Donner, he went to DC Comics to write one particular story, which was based from an idea he took from Superman Returns, Superman and His Son.
Yeah, I read that story. I like that story.
Yeah, and I like that story. And I mean, man, I mean, it was a cool story. I mean, and that particular thing about Superman Returns was the only really good thing about that movie. It was something different. So I mean, I guess you know, different facades that you can really give it to Superman. No one has really thought of yet. I think that's what it comes down to.
He has a pretty grand mythos. A lot of stories you can tell that he has. He has a decent, I'll say a decent supporting cast. I think Spider-Man has the best supporting cast. Superman is decent. He also has a pretty decent rogues gallery and a grand mythos. Each of them they've done recently with his Kryptonian heritage they've gotten into in the books. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff that's in there. You got to kind of give it a chance. But also, it depends, I think, what type of fan you are.
The one thing that's really getting on my nerves right now that a lot of the artists are doing to really make Superman cool again is the potent look. And what I mean by the potent look is, if anyone's ever seen X-Men pictures of Cyclops all by himself, he's always, I be like that.
Yeah.
With Superman now, they always want to show him with the red eyes, like he's about to just turn on his heat vision. You know, look how potent I am. Heat vision coming at you. looking like the Exorcist. You know, and I want to say, just stop doing that. That's just tacky. If you keep doing that, I mean, so many times it gets on your nerves. I mean, man, how many times are you gonna keep doing it? I mean, I understand you're trying to get more people into liking Superman again, but
could be worse. You'd have pockets.
I mean, but you know, as much hate as I give Superman, you know, everybody knows that I did like Kingdom Come. I actually really did like Kingdom Come.
And it's something about that Kingdom Come Superman that you
That's
know,
what really got me back into the
people
character.
like.